Peace, peace, everyone. Welcome back to our 2024 February Clearing Up the Miseducation of the so-called Black history stories that we'll hear all month long as many of the so-called Blacks celebrate Black history. I want to thank everyone who has already viewed the first video, which was titled "The Truth About the Kunta Kinte Scheme." The truth about the Kunta Kinte scheme. Woo! I got so many calls. But by the end of February, they're going, literally, they're either going to wake up, they're going to be all the way woke, or they're going to go back to sleep. Because all they want to do is just argue with me. There's no arguing. You can't argue with me. Argue with the sources. Because I don't have the time to argue with you. I'm just putting out the information. So today we're going to talk about how the slave story was Photoshopped. That's right. The slave story that they gave us was Photoshopped. If you haven't already, make sure that you like, you subscribe, you share the videos to your favorite social media platforms. When you subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you always get notifications every time that we live stream or when we upload. Let's get it. They're definitely going to show us one of their most famed photos. One of their most famed photos that they show us every year, right? It seems to be one of the most popular, is this one, right? They call him Whipped Peter sometimes. Yeah, Whipped Peter is what they call him sometimes. Right now, this picture I got off of Wikipedia, and it says the scorched back of Gordon, an escaped slave from Louisiana, McPherson Oliver, 1863. So McPherson and Oliver were the photographers who took this photo of the scorched back of Gordon, aka Whipped Peter. We're gonna get into this today. The first time we read about the story, or the first time that the story was given to the people, was in Harper's Weekly Journal. Harper's Weekly Journal. So it reads, a typical Negro. We publish here with 3 portraits from photographs by McPherson and Oliver of the Negro Gordon, who escaped from his master in Mississippi. But hold on. Didn't Wikipedia say that he was from Louisiana? You either from Louisiana or you from Mississippi. Stop playing. You ain't from both. You either from Louisiana or from Mississippi. Let's keep reading. It says, and came into our lines at Baton Rouge in March last. Right? So this is the last March. So one of these portraits represents the man as he entered our lines with clothes torn, and covered with mud and dirt from his long race through the swamps and bayous, chased as he had been for days and nights by his master with several neighbors and a pack of bloodhounds. Another shows him as he underwent the surgical examination previous to being mustered into the service. His back furrowed and scarred with the traces of a whipping administered on Christmas last. With that gone, everything is last with these people. On Christmas Day? On Christmas Day? What? Oh, you got beat up like that on Christmas Day? No, that's Jesus' birthday. You must have been really being bad. Even Santa Claus gifted you with these lashes on Christmas Day. And the third represents him in the United States uniform, bearing the musket and prepared for duty. Y'all, this is what they call fair use for educational purposes, right? Because we don't. The last video, y'all, let me just say something. The last video I put up, they didn't give me a copyright strike, but what they said was this video would not be monetized because you can't use it in certain regions and certain countries. And I'm just like, I ain't monetized anyway. So what y'all yeah, y'all can move around with that, because I ain't monetized anyway. Right? We not monetized. We just out here doing the work. But if anyone would like to donate, you can do so. The Cash App information is at the bottom of the screen. Right? So it says, Christmas Day. It's that Christmas Day that got me like, what? You did this on Jesus' birthday. Hey, go on. He said, the Negro displayed unusual intelligence and energy. In order to foil the scent of the bloodhounds who were chasing him, he took from his plantation onions, which he carried in his pockets. After crossing each creek or swamp, he rubbed his body freely with these onions, and thus, no doubt, frequently threw the dogs off the scent. At one time in Louisiana, he served our troops as a guide. Listen, at one time in Louisiana, he served our troops as a guide. Make that make sense? Isn't he from Mississippi? How is he guiding you throughout Louisiana if he's from Mississippi? We're talking about a slave who from sun up to sundown was on a plantation, could not leave. He was not freely coming or going. He didn't know anything about how to get around in Louisiana. You from Mississippi? Said, said, and on one expedition was unfortunately taken prisoner by the rebels. Right? The rebels, because this is the Great Rebellion. The Great Rebellion. Not a war. Was taken prisoner by the rebels, who infiltrated beyond measure, tied him up and beat him, leaving him for dead. He came to life, however, and once more made his escape to our lines. So you mean tell me you doing a lot of escaping and getting a lot of beatings, to where you unaliving and you coming back again? You You're doing it on Christmas Day, and you're doing it again as a enlisted soldier. Ooh, you like a cat. How many lives you got? Said by way of illustrating the degree of brutality which slavery has developed among the whites in this section of the country from which this Negro came, we append the following extract from a letter in the New York Times recounting what was told by the refugees from Miss Gillespie's estate on the Black River. Refugees? It's not sounding like no slave situation going on. And when I say slave situation, I'm just talking about, like private property. It just sounded more like exactly that, a private property issue. Right, this is not sounding like a war. This is sounding more like civil matters with private property. That's what it sounded like to me, but that's just me. What is Harper's Weekly? Harper's Weekly, a journal of civilization. Yo, this is funny. Harper's Weekly, a journal of civilization, was an American political magazine based in New York City, published by Harper and Brothers from 1857 until 1916. You think it's a coincidence that right before this Great Rebellion kicked off, Harper's Weekly just jump off the porch? It featured foreign and domestic news, fiction, essays on many subjects, and humor alongside illustrations. It carried extensive coverage of the American Civil War, including many illustrations of events from the war. During its most influential period, it was the forum of the political cartoonist Thomas Nast. This is fake news. This was fake news. It's fake news. Before your man Trump called it out, this was fake news. For first-hand history of Civil War era, look back through the lens of New Orleans photographers. Right? McPherson and Oliver. Here we go. McPherson and Oliver. This is the picture again of Gordon with the scorched back, aka Wet Peter. It says, bearing the scars of slavery inflicted on him by his masters, an escaped slave named Gordon was photographed by New Orleans-based photographers William D. McPherson and J. Oliver in Baton Rouge, April 2nd, 1863, as he was being treated by Union medical staff prior to his enlistment in the Yankee Regiment Corps d'Afrique. The Yankee Regiment Corps d'Afrique. I want y'all to remember this, because this is 1863. D'Afrique. Don't that sound French? Like, ain't that's French? How you get a Yankee Regiment Corps d'Afrique in the Union Army? Make it make sense. Cause we've been played, but we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. I'm gonna show you. Let's go down here real quickly to go down here to this. It says the renowned African American orator, abolitionist, and former slave Frederick Douglass. We're going to talk about him later too. So held up the photograph to the audience at his appearance to contradict the lies many Southerners told of the benign institution and paternalistic tradition of slavery. I think the scourge back fueled support in the campaign to end slavery, Goodyear said. McPherson and Oliver's 3 portraits of Gordon were produced as engravings in the July 4th, 1863 edition of Harper's Weekly. What? So you mean to tell me he got beat on Christmas and they put in this propaganda out on Independence Day? Said a major illustrated newspaper of the time, exposing the pictures to hundreds of thousands of readers. Oh my goodness, look at his bag. Look what they're doing to him. This is inhumane. We cannot allow this. We gotta do something. Rebel, I tell you. But he was in the Yankee Corps d'Afrique. He was in the Yankee Corps d'Afrique. He was in the Yankee Corps. D'Afrique. Man, we've been played with. Etymology of engraving. Act of cutting designs, etc., on a hard surface, meaning that which is engraved, is from 1610s, meaning impression taken from an engraved plate is from 1803. Act of cutting designs. Ain't that Photoshop? Ain't that Photoshop? Isn't that Photoshop? This is the exhibition photography in the American Civil War at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, New York. I'm going to get down to Gordon. Scourge back Gordon. That's what they called him. Run away, Gordon. Here it is. It says the tribute to McPherson and Oliver. American, active, New Orleans and Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 1860s. The Scourge back. The technique that was used to create this picture was albumin silver print from glass negative. Albumin silver print from glass negative. As a matter of fact, this picture is cut out picture put onto this picture frame. See the bottom here? I wonder why they cut off the rest of the picture. It looks like it's cut. And let me keep going. All right, because we got to remember the way that they were able to make this picture was through this process. Albumin silver print from glass negative. All right. It's the same website now. It's from artblart.com. Exhibition faking it. Exhibition faking it. Manipulated photography before Photoshop. Didn't I tell you at the very beginning that these slave pictures was Photoshop? Photoshop at the National Gallery of Art. You know, because this is in DC, so you know it gotta be real. It's coming directly from DC. So let's do this. Let's copy and paste this technique. So we can find this technique in these manipulated photos that the Smithsonian had done. So here's one right here. 1857. She never told her love. This is 1857. Same technique used. Here's another one. Here's another one right here. This was Cape Horn, Columbia River, Oregon, 1867. Around the same time as Gordon. 1867. Here's another one. Here's another one. This is actually the one I wanted to, so we can really see what's going on. This is the cavalry maneuvers behind barrier, Camp de Chalons, 1857. Camp de Chalons, 1857. A cavalry? Hold on. A cavalry? 1857? Camp de Chalons? Ain't that French too? I mean, wasn't that the French? Wasn't that Napoleon's war? Wasn't that part of the French Imperial Army? That's strange. Or is it? Is it a coincidence? Let's see. Let's go back to Corps d'Afrique. Right, because they said that Corps d'Afrique was the first National Guard in Louisiana. Now that's different. That's different. See, because they called him a Yankee. A Yankee Corps. So that means that they from up north. Yeah, that meant that they was from up north. How they get to Louisiana? See, when you start to puzzle all of these pieces together, it does not add up. Like, one is not adding up with two, and two is not adding up with three. Like, none of it is making sense. We're not going to really get into it today, but we got all month long to really get deep down and dissect this propaganda that was given to us, that was taught to us, that's been thrown down our psyches year after year after year after year. Every February they come in with this so-called Black History Month, and then they'll sit there and say, well, you know, it was Carter G. Woodson that created. Carter G. Woodson didn't create no Black History Month. No, Carter G. Woodson created Negro History Week. Negro and Black is different. They always try to make it seem to be the same. Woo! Man. But this Camp de Chalons around 1857, around the same time of this Corps d'Afrique, gotta be something that's, because it just ain't sitting right. You can't be no Yankee Corps if you all the way down in Louisiana. How you get down in Louisiana? Yankee Corps. And then why are you called Corps d'Afrique? You know what? I ain't got time right now, but look at this picture. This picture is used, it used the same technique as Gordon's picture. Gordon's picture is Photoshop, just like this picture is Photoshop. Just like all of the other pictures that I'm showing that use the same technique is Photoshop. It literally said, the title is that these pictures have been manipulated. Like Photoshop before a Photoshop program. None of this stuff is real. I know y'all want to hold on to, look, the only thing you can really truly hold on to is what your family has told you, what your family has given you for your history. Stop following this history that these people gave you, because it's not real. This is reconstruction. And you got leaders and so-called elders that's been teaching this for years. Teaching us that we from Afrique. We Afrique, descendants of the Africans. Let's look and see if we can find another one. Let's see. All right, those were the only ones that we found. So we found Camp P. Shalom's, another quote-unquote wartime photo op. Then we have Cape Horn, Columbia River, Oregon. Cape Horn, Columbia River, Oregon. Then we have Henry Peach Robinson. She never told her love. All of these use the same Photoshop technology. This is around the same time. Late 1850s, mid 1860s. That they're all using the same techniques to create and manipulate these photos. Because this photo that they're going to be putting up all year long with some music in the background to pull on your emotional heartstrings to make you believe that Scourged Back Gordon, runaway, aka Whip Peter, was whipped by his master. We're going to end this with some words from the great abolitionists, because that's what they called him in that, what I was reading, the great abolitionists. Frederick Douglass, he said the folly of colonization. He called colonization folly. What? He called it folly. He said Africa, according to her colonization advocates, is by no means modest in her demands upon us. She calls upon us to send her only our best men. She does not want our riffraff, but our best men. Is you crazy? But these are just the men who are valuable and who are wanted at home. It is true that we have a few preachers and laymen with a missionary turn of mind, whom we might easily spare. Some who would possibly do as much good by going there as by staying here. But this is not the colonization idea. No, this ain't like, the American colonization society back in the day. See, y'all on something new. See, the American colonization society, it was all about, colonizing Africa by, getting land on the West Coast and creating industry. Yeah, that's what, Paul Cuffey and Absalom and this is what they was on. Yeah, they was on industry. No, see, y'all want us to take our admixture children and send them over to Africa, the west coast of Africa. No, but we want them to be able to stay here at home. Because see, he's talking about colonization. It ain't about us going to. This is the reason why when you look back at the Harlem Renaissance era, like that time period, going back to Africa, that Garvey was talking about, you see that nobody in Jamaica was jumping on it like, yeah, we going back there. Bro, no. Going back to where? We home. We ain't going to no fool as you fool. Says its advocates want not only the best men, but millions of the best. Better still, they want the United States government to vote the money to send them there. They want the money. Yeah, they want the money. What you talking about? They want the money. See, there was a time where your man Lincoln allowed you to go to Haiti or Liberia if you didn't want to stay here. If you didn't want to stay here, you could go. You could leave, and you would get some money. You would get some money. Then you had those who got caught up through the Great Rebellion, and after the Great Rebellion, you had those who rebelled against their slave masters, and they had to pay back the states. But if they leave to go to Liberia, then the money that the state is supposed to get will go to Liberia. See, this is all about following the money, y'all. This is all about this colonization scheme that Frederick Douglass is telling us what's going on. He said the money will then go there. He said they do not seem to see that if the government votes money to send the Negro to Africa, that the government may employ means to complete the arrangement and compel us to go. Now, I hold that the American Negro owes no more to the Negroes in Africa than he owes to the Negroes in America. There are millions of needy people over there, but there are also millions of needy people all over here as well. And the millions of America need intelligent men of their own number to help them. As much as intelligent men are needed in Africa to help our people, besides, we have a fight on our hands right here. Fight for the redemption of the whole race, and the blow struck successfully for Negro in America is also a blow struck for the Negro in Africa. Yeah, ain't that what Prophet Noble Jolie told us? That he said, whatever happens to us here in America first, it's gonna affect all over the world. This is in the Moorish literature. Right, that was published in the Moorish Guide, editorials. Said, for until the Negro is respected in America, he need no except consideration elsewhere. All this native land talk, however, is nonsense. The native land of the American Negro is America. His bones, his muscles, his sinews are all American. His ancestors for 270 years have lived and labored and died on American soil. And millions of his posterity have inherited Caucasian blood. Didn't I tell you this is really about the admixture being sent to Liberia. It's about the admixed child being able to go to Liberia to continue to set up more industry in the colony of Liberia. Man, how do we get more money to go out there? Oh, yeah, let's get the government to vote on sending these admixture children to Liberia, because the money that they're supposed to be getting from the state for them, we're going to make sure that the state now has to send that to the colony of Liberia, because they're going to, y'all, this is what they think about it. If you had children where they get a certain amount of money from the state, and as they're getting this money, let's say they are in Illinois. Once they leave Illinois and go to Colorado, now Colorado state is going to get this money. Illinois is not going to get this money anymore for this child. Now, this is trafficking. This is taking the resources. I mean, when you think about it, it's like the Child Protective Services system today that's set up. We're going to take the child out the home, and we're going to be able to get the money for the child through the welfare program. So now the state gets the money. I mean, it's looking like this whole illegal immigration thing they got going on. It's because they got federal funding for displaced migrants. That's why they keep calling these people migrants, y'all. Displaced migrants from world disaster relief. They're playing this right in our face. They are literally playing with us right in our face. And they're going to play with us with this picture all February. So now when they talk about this, you can refer them back to how this is a manipulated Photoshop photo. It's not real. This is fake. I want to say honors to each and every one of you who took the time out to come and either learn or to sharpen up your skills, get some more information, and if you already knew it, big up to you. Don't forget to like, share to all of your favorite social media platforms, and subscribe. For more information, if you would like to reach us here at Moorish Science Temple of America, you can do so on our website, www.mstahohr805.co. Slave Story Photoshop. Prophet Noble Drawley said, if I can get you to think, then you can save yourself. With that, we'll be back here tomorrow with another drop. Peace and love.